You think church potlucks were always just fried chicken and potato salad? Think again. African American congregations filled fellowship hall tables with dishes that turned Sunday gatherings into legendary feasts. These recipes traveled in covered dishes and loving hands. Here are 60 forgotten church potluck dishes that have disappeared. Jellied chicken salad was a quintessential 1950s dish that combined cooked chicken with vegetables set in a savory gelatin mold, reflecting the era's fascination with molded salads. This dish often included diced chicken, celery, onions, and sometimes nuts or chopped pimentos, suspended in a flavorful gelatin base made from chicken broth and unflavored gelatin. Served cold and sliced, it was both a visual centerpiece and a tasty salad that showcased creativity and presentation. Jellied chicken salad was often made in advance, allowing flavors to meld and the gelatin to set firmly, making it practical for potlucks and large gatherings. Though it might seem unusual today, at the time it represented a sophisticated and modern way to serve cold salads. The dish balanced texture and flavor with a slightly savory taste and a firm yet tender mouthfeel. Its popularity was tied to the post-war era's emphasis on convenience, novelty, and communal sharing, making it a memorable part of many church potluck tables. Chicken a la king transformed leftover chicken into elegant dish that felt fancy despite economical origins, combining diced meat with cream sauce studded with pimentos and mushrooms. Church ladies made white sauce from butter, flour, and milk, then stirred in cooked chicken, canned mushrooms, diced pimentos, and sometimes frozen peas before seasoning with salt, pepper, and sherry. The mixture was heated until bubbly, then served over toast points, biscuits, or puff pastry shells. The sauce was rich and comforting, pimentos adding color while mushrooms provided earthy depth. In Episcopal churches across the Northeast, chicken a la king appeared at ladies' luncheons and wedding showers. Women served it in chafing dishes to keep it warm. Chicken a la king represented aspirational cooking, turning simple ingredients into something that felt like restaurant food through careful technique. Few dishes spark as much curiosity or debate as a gelatin mold. In the 1970s, the congregation carrot mold combined shredded carrots, crushed pineapple, and orange gelatin into a dish that was both a side and a conversation starter. Sweet, tangy, and slightly crunchy, it blurred the line between salad and dessert, making it a staple at church potlucks where versatility was key. The mid-20th century was the golden age of gelatin-based recipes. With the post-war boom in processed foods, Jell-O became a household name, marketed as the canvas for everything from fruit to vegetables. Carrots and pineapple were a natural pairing, offering a bright color palette and a balance of textures that appealed to adventurous home cooks. The mold's practicality also can't be overlooked. It was easy to make ahead, held its shape on a buffet table, and was affordable for families stretching their budgets. However, as food trends evolved, gelatin molds began to feel outdated. Fresh salads and lighter fare gained popularity, while the sugary sweet combination of carrots and Jell-O started to seem like a culinary relic. For those who remember it, though, this dish evokes a time when creativity reigned supreme and no potluck table was complete without a molded masterpiece. Here's actually a Valentine's Day special. Sweetheart Jell-O molds were these really brightly colored gelatin molds that were actually always heart-shaped. They were decorated and themed that way because of Valentine's Day, but they were actually also used outside of it too. Lots of people use them for their wedding showers or even just to add a bit of a nice flair at a fellowship dinner or a potluck. Sweetheart Jell-O molds started to come in flavored Jell-O variants like cherry, raspberry, or strawberry, and these were the typical ones you would get since they were red. What was interesting is that people really tried piling on canned pineapple and other fruits like grapes or banana slices along with milk and cream cheese. Sweetened cream cheese was typically what people would use alongside the Jell-O, and they'd throw in some things like marshmallow and whipped cream. People would also add in two-tone molds to really make it visually more appealing and better. Sparkling Jell-O was also another kind of gelatin mold that brightened the whole thing up. This dish made headlines in lots of community cookbooks as well, but it couldn't last because people found a lot more elaborate designs and dishes for their Valentine's Day plans. In the heart of the South, where hospitality is a way of life, Dixie caviar was a dish that embodied community and resourcefulness. This colorful medley of black-eyed peas, bell peppers, onions, and tomatoes, all tossed in a tangy vinaigrette, earned its nickname for being the poor man's caviar. It was simple yet bold, and its vibrant flavors were a reflection of Southern ingenuity, turning pantry staples into something worth celebrating. The dish was practical in every sense. Black-eyed peas, long a symbol of good luck in Southern culture, were inexpensive and packed with protein, making them a staple in home kitchens. The fresh vegetables added crunch and color, while the tangy dressing brought it all together. Served with tortilla chips or crackers, Dixie caviar could function as an appetizer, side dish, or even a light meal. And its make-ahead nature meant it could be prepared the day before, allowing the flavors to meld beautifully. But as convenience foods and prepackaged dips grew in popularity, dishes like Dixie caviar began to fade. It also suffered from the misconception of being too simple in a world increasingly drawn to elaborate recipes. Peanut butter salad with shredded carrots was a surprising and uniquely textured dish that found its way onto many church potluck tables in the 1950s. This salad combined the creamy richness of peanut butter with the crunch and natural sweetness of shredded carrots, often mixed with mayonnaise, raisins, or pineapple tidbits to balance the flavors. Served chilled, it offered a cool and satisfying contrast to the warm, savory dishes that dominated the potluck spread. This dish was affordable and easy to prepare, relying on pantry staples that were accessible to most families. Its unusual combination appealed to adventurous palates and reflected the era's experimentation with mixing sweet and savory elements. Peanut butter salad was a conversation starter and a memorable part of many communal meals. It demonstrated how home cooks creatively incorporated new ingredients into traditional social gatherings, making it an enduring part of 1950s church food culture. Stuffed celery sticks brought elegant simplicity to appetizer tables, their crisp green boats filled with cream cheese mixture that could be savory or sweet. Church ladies cut celery into uniform 3-inch pieces, then piped or spread, filling into the hollows using butter knives or pastry bags. The most common filling mixed cream cheese with Worcestershire sauce, garlic powder, and chopped olives, creating savory perfection. Others filled celery with peanut butter, transforming vegetables into snacks that children actually ate. The most ambitious church ladies created rainbow platters with multiple fillings. In Presbyterian churches across the Northeast, stuffed celery appeared at every ladies' tea, wedding shower, and Christmas party, providing crunch and freshness that balanced heavier dishes. The vegetables could be prepared hours ahead and refrigerated, making them perfect for busy hostesses. Stuffed celery represented controlled elegance. During the 1970s, baked chicken dishes were the unsung heroes of potluck dinners, and this one, with its honey, pecan, and mustard glaze, struck the perfect balance between sweet and savory. Holy honey pecan chicken brought a touch of sophistication to the church potluck table, elevating humble chicken into a dish that felt both hearty and refined. The roots of this recipe trace back to Southern cooking traditions, where pecans were abundant and honey was a natural sweetener long before sugar became widespread. By the mid-20th century, recipes like this embraced the availability of affordable chicken cuts and pantry staples like mustard and honey. Chicken was cheap, easy to prepare, and universally loved, while the glaze was a clever way to turn basic ingredients into something special. So, why don't we see it much today? Part of the answer lies in the rise of boneless, skinless chicken breasts and pre-marinated options, which eliminated the need for labor-intensive glazes. Add to that the growing preference for lighter, grilled dishes, and this once popular recipe found itself fading into culinary obscurity. You know how the later half of the 20th century started being associated with bite-sized meals and finger foods? The seeds for that were sown just a little bit early with things like pineapple cheese squares. Thanks to Hawaiian Spam, which was introduced by Hormel in 1937, this actually became an extremely popular meal to have at churches. They were the perfect way to get some dairy, fat, and energy into a person's system, and they took next to no effort to make. Those church ladies were often overworked, you know? It was hard cooking for an entire community regularly. Pineapple cheese squares would typically have bits of ham cut into squares topped with cheese and pineapples, and they were excellent. The kind of thing that you could have while chatting away at meals and just socializing. That was also something people needed a lot, and churches didn't just act as places where people could come for a quick and good meal, but also as places where they could meet and interact with others. The late 1980s and early 1990s brought a new wave of potluck stars to church picnics, and virtuous vegetable pizza squares quickly claimed a spot near the top. With a flaky crescent roll crust, a tangy ranch-seasoned cream cheese base, and a colorful array of diced fresh vegetables, this dish was as visually appealing as it was satisfying. It struck a balance between indulgence and health, offering a lighter option without sacrificing flavor. A rare feat on a picnic table laden with heavy casseroles and desserts. The practicality of this dish was a major reason for its popularity. The recipe was straightforward, the ingredients were affordable, and the end result could be made ahead of time and served cold. This made it perfect for picnics, where refrigeration wasn't always guaranteed. It was also highly customizable. Broccoli, carrots, peppers, or even a sprinkle of cheese allowed for personal touches, ensuring it could cater to nearly any palate. So, why did these savory squares fade into the background? Part of the reason lies in the rise of pre-packaged veggie trays and dips, which offered a quicker, less labor-intensive alternative. Additionally, the appeal of ranch-flavored dishes has waned over the years as food trends shifted. Chili cheese dip was a warm, comforting dish that brought a touch of spice to many 1950s church gatherings. Made by combining melted cheese with chili powder, sometimes canned tomatoes or beans, and other seasonings, it created a rich and flavorful dip perfect for serving with crackers or toasted bread. This dish was especially popular during colder months, providing both warmth and heartiness in a convenient form. Chili cheese dip was easy to prepare in advance and kept warm in a slow cooker or oven, making it ideal for potlucks where dishes needed to stay ready for several hours. It appealed to those who enjoyed bold flavors but was mild enough to suit a wide range of tastes. The dish represented a growing trend in American cooking to incorporate more spicy and southwestern influences, expanding the flavor horizons of traditional church fare. Chili cheese dip's popularity endured because it combined familiarity with a little excitement, making it a beloved party staple of the era. Pineapple casserole confused outsiders who couldn't understand why fruit needed cheese and crackers, but church ladies knew this sweet and savory combination was Southern magic. Crushed pineapple was drained and mixed with sugar and flour. Then sharp cheddar cheese was stirred in before the mixture was poured into buttered casserole dishes and topped with crushed Ritz crackers mixed with melted butter. The casserole baked until cheese melted and cracker topping turned golden brown, creating something that straddled the line between side dish and dessert. Pineapple provided tropical sweetness, cheese added savory richness, and buttery crackers delivered crunch. In Episcopal churches across South Carolina and Georgia, pineapple casserole appeared at every Easter dinner, Christmas reception, and ladies' luncheon. Some church ladies added marshmallows, others included coconut, but traditionalists kept it pure with just pineapple, cheese, and crackers, proving Southern creativity could transform canned fruit into conversation starter. In the culinary playbook of the 1970s, green beans weren't just a side dish, they were often dressed to impress. Graceful green bean bundles wrapped in smoky bacon and glazed with brown sugar offered an elegant upgrade to the humble vegetable. With their sweet and savory allure, these bundles quickly became a favorite at church potlucks and holiday dinners. The dish's appeal lay in its balance of practicality and flair. Green beans were an accessible and affordable vegetable, while bacon and brown sugar transformed them into something festive. The bundles were easy to assemble and bake, making them a convenient choice for busy cooks. They also served dual purposes. They worked as both a side dish and an appetizer, seamlessly bridging the gap between finger food and a plated meal. By the late 20th century, however, changing tastes and dietary trends began to edge these bundles off the table. The combination of bacon and sugar, once seen as indulgent, started to feel overly rich for everyday fare. Health-conscious cooking also played a role as lighter vegetable dishes gained popularity. Before we start going deep into what Church Lady 7-layer salads are, let's talk a bit about what a 7-layer salad even really is. As the name implies, it's got 7 actual layers to it, so you can kind of think of this as a quadra burger, or the lasagna of salads. It's pretty much always served in a glass bowl, and this is meant to work with the presentation and really add some wow factor to the dish. The traditional way to go about making a 7-layer salad is with vegetables like chopped tomatoes, green peas, lettuce, hard-boiled eggs, bacon, onion, and cheese. Besides the obvious aesthetic appeal of something like that, you could also make this salad in advance, and churches were always on the lookout for the kind of dishes you could make and prepare ahead of time because of how busy they were. Now, the 7-lady version is a bit different. In churches, the concept of a church lady had become pretty popular. They were these women who would tend to the churchgoers and often end up being the foundational base of a lot of these potlucks, church gatherings, and neighborhood-wide meals. While it did give them a chance to show off their skills, most of everything you see on this list was really typically made by a church lady. In the mid-1900s, elegance and practicality often found their way onto the same plate, especially at church picnics and social gatherings. Righteous ribbon sandwiches were a shining example of this fusion, a visually striking, multi-layered finger sandwich that was as much a feast for the eyes as it was for the stomach. These sandwiches combined cream cheese, thinly sliced cucumbers, and pimento spread, layered between vibrant slices of white and rye bread. The name may have sounded fancy, but the recipe was delightfully simple, showcasing the resourcefulness of home cooks. Ribbon sandwiches were the epitome of versatility. They could be made in advance, sliced into perfect little portions, and adapted to suit almost any flavor profile. Need a vegetarian option? No problem. Add more vegetables. Want something heartier? Swap in a layer of ham or chicken salad. Their small size made them easy to serve and eat, ensuring that no one risked losing their sandwich during a spirited game of horseshoes. So, why don't we see them anymore? As trends shifted toward more casual grab-and-go fare, the labor-intensive ribbon sandwiches slowly fell out of favor. Baked spaghetti casserole was a hearty and satisfying dish that quickly became a crowd favorite at 1950s potlucks. This casserole combined cooked spaghetti noodles with a tomato-based sauce, often enriched with ground beef or sausage and plenty of cheese to bind it all together. The entire mixture was baked until bubbly and golden on top, making it a warm, comforting meal that fed many with a single dish. Because it could be assembled ahead of time and easily reheated, it was a practical choice for busy families contributing to church dinners. Ingredients were typically budget-friendly and accessible, allowing cooks to stretch ground meat by combining it with pasta and vegetables like onions or green peppers. This casserole also appealed to children and adults alike, with its familiar flavors and satisfying texture. It was often served alongside salads, breads, or vegetable sides to round out the meal. Baked spaghetti casserole embodied the potluck spirit of sharing and community nourishment, reflecting the wholesome, home-cooked meals cherished in that era. Ham balls brought sweet and savory together in ways that confused newcomers but delighted regular attendees. Ground ham mixed with ground pork, graham cracker crumbs, eggs, and milk was shaped into spheres and baked in glaze of brown sugar, vinegar, and mustard that caramelized into sticky perfection. These weren't appetizers, but substantial protein that anchored potluck plates. Church ladies made them by the dozen, arranging them in roasting pans where glaze pooled at the bottom, begging to be soaked up with dinner rolls. Ham provided saltiness, while glaze added molasses sweetness, creating flavor tension that kept people reaching for more. In Midwest Lutheran churches, ham balls were tradition, appearing at every church supper from harvest festivals to Christmas programs. Children initially resisted brown sugar coating on meat, then became converts after first bite. Ham balls represented resourcefulness, using leftover ham transformed into celebration food, proving church ladies wasted nothing while creating everything delicious. In the days when nothing went to waste, a pot of slow-cooked beans with hog jowls and onions was a way of life. Rooted in Southern cooking traditions, this hearty meal was a staple at church potlucks and community gatherings. Pinto beans, rich in protein and fiber, were an affordable way to feed a crowd, while hog jowls, a cut from the cheek of the pig, added smoky, savory depth that transformed the humble legume into something extraordinary. Historically, this dish thrived in communities where resourcefulness was key. Hog jowls, often considered a byproduct, were a favorite in Southern cuisine, where the whole hog philosophy reigned supreme. Combined with onions and slow cooking, the result was a dish that was simple yet deeply flavorful. And let's not forget the practicality. Beans are inexpensive, shelf-stable, and could simmer all day while the cook tackled other tasks. But as modern tastes shifted, hog jowls fell out of favor. Health trends, coupled with the rise of leaner meats, left this dish behind in the dust of culinary history. Convenience foods like canned beans and pre-seasoned mixes didn't help either. Angel biscuits aren't actually something embellished with intense symbolism from the Bible, but a traditional Southern biscuit. This yeast roll takes baking powder, baking soda, and some yeast to make one of the fluffiest biscuits you'll ever lay your eyes on. This is actually why they ended up being called angel biscuits. It was mostly because people thought it fit since the biscuits were so light and airy. You might be wondering how such a delicate and tender dessert managed to come out of the South, though, and, well, in that regard, I can only say that even the biggest of barbecues need a dessert on the side. Church kitchens would often scour both the South and the North for any kind of recipes that would help them in their efforts. And man, after the absolute nightmare gauntlet that the first half of the 20th century was, there was a lot of room for relief efforts. Angel biscuits rose to popularity in the middle of the 20th century as a dish that was very hard to do wrong and very easy to make, which made it almost perfect for the kind of church gatherings most places were holding back then. In the mid-20th century, when creativity in the kitchen often stemmed from necessity, benevolent bologna cups made their debut as an ingenious way to stretch humble ingredients into a crowd-pleasing dish. A simple slice of bologna, baked into a cup shape in a muffin tin, became the perfect edible vessel for mashed potatoes, macaroni salad, or even coleslaw. This dish was both playful and practical, a combination that fit perfectly with the spirit of community potlucks and church picnics. The versatility of bologna cups was their standout feature. They could be filled with just about anything, making them adaptable to whatever leftovers or budget-friendly ingredients were on hand. They were also easy to portion and serve, making them ideal for large gatherings. And let's not forget their visual appeal. Seeing rows of neatly filled bologna cups on a table added a touch of whimsy to any spread. So, what led to their decline? Over time, bologna itself fell out of favor as food trends shifted toward fresher, less processed ingredients. The rise of more elaborate appetizers and finger foods also nudged this humble dish aside. Cucumber and onion salad was a staple at many church potlucks in the 1950s. This dish combined thinly sliced cucumbers and onions tossed in a vinegar-based dressing that gave it a crisp and tangy flavor. Often made with simple ingredients like sugar, salt, and dill, it was refreshingly light and perfect for balancing heavier main dishes. The salad's straightforward preparation made it an accessible option for many home cooks, especially during times when budgets were tight. Its popularity stemmed from both its taste and the fact that it could be made in large batches to feed a crowd. Served chilled, it provided a cool contrast to warm casseroles and baked goods common at potluck tables. This salad was easy to transport and did not require heating, which was important for church events held in community halls or fellowship rooms. Families often brought their own variations, sometimes adding a pinch of mustard seed or fresh herbs to make it their own. It captured the spirit of simplicity and shared enjoyment that defined 1950s church meals, making it a beloved side dish that many fondly remember from those gatherings. Deviled eggs anchored every potluck appetizer table, their sunny yellow centers piped into decorative swirls that showed off each cook's particular technique. Church ladies hard-boiled dozens of eggs, peeled them perfectly without pitting the whites, then sliced them lengthwise and scooped out yolks for mixing with mayonnaise, mustard, vinegar, and secret seasonings. The filling was piped back into egg white halves using pastry bags or carefully spooned to create neat mounds, then garnished with paprika, pickle relish, or tiny parsley sprigs. In Baptist churches across the South, deviled egg platters sparked friendly competition, with women developing signature styles. Some added pickle juice for tang, others included finely minced onion for bite, and adventurous cooks experimented with curry powder or hot sauce. The eggs had to be kept cold and made the day of serving. Deviled eggs represented commitment. In the 1970s, practicality often dictated the dinner table, and few dishes embodied that spirit better than a warm, hearty pot of gospel goulash, combining macaroni, ground beef, and tomato sauce. This one-pot wonder was a crowd pleaser at church gatherings and family dinners alike. Simple, filling, and endlessly adaptable, it was the kind of meal that brought everyone to the table without breaking the budget. The dish draws its roots from Hungarian goulash, though the Americanized version took significant creative liberties. By the mid-20th century, macaroni, ground beef, and canned tomato products were affordable staples in nearly every pantry. Families stretched what they had, tossing in whatever vegetables or seasonings were on hand to create a meal that could satisfy both appetites and budgets. Its simplicity made it versatile, easy to scale for a potluck, and forgiving enough for even the most distracted home cooks. Over time, however, gospel goulash began to fade. The rise of more sophisticated pasta dishes, such as lasagna or baked ziti, offered more texture and flavor complexity, pushing this humble dish to the sidelines. As tastes evolved, its one-pot simplicity started to feel less exciting. Still, for many, it remains a nostalgic favorite, a reminder of family dinners, church potlucks, and the ingenuity of making a little go a long way. Glory be deviled ham spread is a pretty nostalgic dish. It captures the charm that you would commonly associate with the 20th century. Fellowship meals, potlucks galore, dishes that attracted a crowd and left one feeling better than ever. In the midst of all that, deviled ham spread started to really take off. Again, the deviled term here is purely for hyperbole. It just refers to how aggressively seasoned the dish is. The spread typically has things like lots of chopped ham and a bunch of seasonings like Worcestershire sauce, cayenne pepper, paprika, and mustard. People also had a fondness for bell peppers and would pretty much always include them in it. The phrase "glory be" was something that was pretty much just a comforting mantra for religious people. Churches offered people a lot of respite and shelter from a lot of the harsh things going on in the 20th century, and that meant a lot to people who were down on their luck. You could go in for a casserole or a ham spread and leave having your faith in God a bit stronger than it was an hour ago. In the kitchens of the South, where comfort food was practically a calling, one small golden snack became a beloved staple at church picnics and potlucks alike: sausage balls. These bite-sized morsels, made from sausage, cheese, and a touch of baking mix, were the perfect balance of savory and satisfying. They were an art form of resourcefulness, transforming simple pantry staples into something people would talk about long after the picnic ended. Sausage balls gained popularity in the mid-20th century when convenience mixes like Bisquick became household essentials. Their practicality was unmatched, easy to make, even easier to transport, and nearly impossible to mess up. Whether served warm from the oven or cooled at room temperature, they held their flavor and texture, making them a no-brainer for any gathering. They doubled as appetizers, brunch sides, or even game day treats. So why did they fall out of favor? Over time, shifting dietary trends and a preference for more elaborate finger foods nudged them off the menu. Today, they are just a reminder of simpler times, when recipes were about taste, tradition, and togetherness, not calorie counts or culinary fads. Cheese and pineapple skewers were a popular appetizer that combined sweet and savory flavors in a bite-sized form. These skewers typically featured cubes of sharp cheddar cheese paired with juicy chunks of pineapple threaded onto toothpicks or small wooden sticks. The contrast between the tangy cheese and the tropical sweetness of the pineapple made for an appealing taste experience that was easy to enjoy while mingling at potluck socials. This simple yet elegant dish was quick to prepare and transport, making it a favorite among church members tasked with bringing something festive and shareable. The bright colors of the golden pineapple and pale cheese also added a cheerful touch to the food table, helping to create a welcoming atmosphere. Many cooks used canned pineapple for convenience, especially during winter months when fresh fruit was less available. Despite its simplicity, cheese and pineapple skewers represented the kind of thoughtful, crowd-pleasing dishes that helped build community spirit in mid-century church gatherings. Their popularity endured because they required minimal effort but delivered maximum enjoyment to guests. $Million Fudge lived up to its name through richness that seemed impossible to achieve from simple ingredients, its creamy texture and deep chocolate flavor making it absolutely irresistible. Church ladies combined sugar, evaporated milk, butter, and marshmallow cream in large pots, stirring constantly while the mixture came to a boil. Off heat, they stirred in chocolate chips and vanilla until everything melted into glossy chocolate mixture, then poured it into buttered pans to cool. The fudge emerged perfectly creamy, never grainy, cutting into neat squares that melted on the tongue. In Methodist churches across the Midwest, $1 Million Fudge appeared at every Christmas party, bake sale, and youth group fundraiser. Women wrapped squares in wax paper, arranged them in tins, and gave them as gifts. In the mid-20th century, prunes enjoyed a moment in the culinary spotlight, and desserts like prune whip became surprisingly popular at gatherings. Light, airy, and subtly sweet, this dish combined stewed prunes with whipped egg whites to create a mousse-like treat that balanced indulgence with a touch of practicality. While it may not sound like the belle of the potluck table today, in its time, it was a creative way to transform a pantry staple into an elegant dessert. Prunes, or dried plums, were widely appreciated for their affordability and long shelf life. They were particularly common in post-war cooking, where resourceful homemakers turned simple ingredients into inventive recipes. With the rise of gelatin-based desserts, prune whip fit right into the trend of light, fluffy textures. It also offered a surprising nutritional bonus. Prunes were, and still are, known for their digestive benefits, making this dessert as functional as it was flavorful. By the late 20th century, however, prune whip fell out of favor. Healthier eating didn't hurt it. Marketing did. Prunes became saddled with a reputation as grandma food, overshadowing their versatility. Bean salads were honestly the same too. You'd call them blessed bean salads in cookbooks and early 2000s blog posts, but back in the day it was just a mix of whatever beans you had on hand. Church ladies would often throw in things like green beans, pinto beans, black beans, wax beans, and kidney beans. Anything that was high in protein and fiber was preferred because you wanted to give people strength and keep them full for longer. The blessed name actually gave it a little bit of a brand, I guess, though I don't think it really caught on much besides Southern churches. They'd actually use a lot of red wine in it sometimes. The dressing would be this wine and vinegar-centric mix of mustard and garlic, and it would honestly just be an amazing little salad to serve before or after a massive meal. Canned beans rolled around soon enough in the 50s and 60s thanks to the rise of convenience food, and that made dishes like these even more accessible and affordable. It helped places like churches the most because usually churches were pretty understaffed and underfunded, especially the ones that were outside of commercial areas in big urban hubs like New York. In the days when church picnics were synonymous with indulgent homemade treats, faithful fried apple rings brought a touch of carnival-style fun to the table. This simple yet delicious dessert featured crisp apple slices, dipped in a light batter, fried until golden, and finished with a dusting of cinnamon sugar. The result was a warm, sweet, and slightly tangy bite that captured the essence of autumn, no matter the season. The practicality of this recipe made it a frequent guest at gatherings. Apples were affordable, widely available, and easy to work with, while the batter could be whisked together using basic pantry ingredients. Fried apple rings were also incredibly versatile. They worked as a dessert, a snack, or even a breakfast treat alongside coffee, and their individual portions made them ideal for sharing, with no forks or plates required. So, why don't we see these anymore? Frying, once a common cooking method, has fallen out of favor due to health concerns and the labor-intensive nature of the process. Add to that the rise of prepackaged apple snacks and desserts, and these homemade treats began to fade. Cheese and olive relish trays were a simple yet effective way to encourage conversation and sharing at church potlucks. These trays typically featured a selection of cubed or sliced cheeses alongside an assortment of olives, pickles, and sometimes pepperoncini peppers. Arranged attractively on a platter, this combination invited guests to nibble and mingle as they sampled different flavor pairings. The salty, briny taste of olives complemented the creamy, mild cheese varieties, offering a balance of textures and tastes that were appealing and easy to eat with fingers or small forks. These relish trays required little preparation, but made a big impact by adding variety to the potluck spread. They were particularly popular because they did not need heating and could be prepared well in advance, making them convenient for busy hosts. The trays also reflected the growing interest in appetizer-style foods during the mid-20th century, as Americans explored new ways to entertain and socialize around food. Funeral potatoes earned their somber name from purpose not taste, appearing at gatherings where comfort was needed most. These combined cubed potatoes with cream of chicken soup, sour cream, butter, and cheddar cheese, topped with crushed cornflakes that baked golden. Church ladies prepared them in glass baking dishes that could be carried warm without burning hands. The potatoes emerged creamy inside with crispy topping that made children scrape plates clean. In Mormon communities across Utah and Idaho, no funeral reception was complete without them, but they appeared at weddings, baptisms, and Sunday dinners. Women guarded specific ratios of soup to sour cream, each convinced her version was superior. Funeral potatoes represented more than food. They were edible sympathy, casserole comfort that said we care without words, proving church ladies understood that sometimes the best comfort comes from creamy potatoes and cornflake crunch. Testimony turnip greens, slow-cooked with ham hocks and a splash of vinegar, embodied the resourcefulness of generations who turned humble ingredients into dishes full of flavor and meaning. At church potlucks and family tables, this dish was a testament to heritage and community. Turnip greens have deep roots in Southern cooking, where they were valued for their nutritional benefits and availability. Paired with ham hocks, a cost-effective way to infuse smoky, savory richness, this dish became a staple of rural kitchens. The addition of vinegar not only brightened the greens, but also reflected an age-old culinary practice of balancing rich and tangy flavors. For many families, it was a versatile dish, often served alongside cornbread to soak up the pot liquor, the nutrient-rich broth left behind. But as tastes changed and cooking habits evolved, slow-cooked greens began to fall out of favor. The rise of faster, more convenient vegetable preparations made the hours-long simmering process feel outdated. Moreover, the strong, earthy flavor of turnip greens didn't appeal to everyone, especially younger generations. Still, for those who grew up with them, turnip greens are a reminder of a time when cooking wasn't rushed, and meals were an opportunity to savor both food and fellowship. Prayerful pasta primavera salad was one of these newcomers, combining tender pasta with fresh, crisp vegetables like bell peppers, cherry tomatoes, and zucchini. Tossed in a zesty Italian vinaigrette, this cold salad brought vibrant colors and refreshing flavors to any gathering, offering a welcome reprieve from heavier dishes. This salad excelled in versatility and practicality. It could be prepared a day ahead, allowing the flavors to meld together beautifully, and it traveled well, perfect for outdoor church picnics. The recipe was also flexible. Any combination of vegetables could be used, depending on what was in season or on hand. Even picky eaters could find something to enjoy in its customizable mix. Add a sprinkle of Parmesan, and it could easily transition from a simple side dish to a more filling option. So, why has it become a rarity? As pre-packaged pasta salads and pre-made dressings became widely available, the labor of chopping fresh vegetables and mixing homemade vinaigrettes seemed less appealing. Modern convenience overshadowed the care that went into making this dish. Baked ham and pineapple ring was a popular festive dish that often graced 1950s church potluck tables during holidays and special occasions. This recipe featured a spiral-sliced ham baked with pineapple rings arranged on top, secured with maraschino cherries in the centers. The combination of the salty, smoky ham with the sweet, tangy pineapple created a harmonious balance of flavors that delighted many palates. The baking process caramelized the sugars in the pineapple and ham glaze, adding a rich, glossy finish. This dish was not only flavorful, but visually impressive, making it a centerpiece on buffet tables. It was practical for feeding large groups, as the ham could be sliced easily and served to many guests. The ham and pineapple ring reflected the mid-century American love of combining sweet and savory elements and the desire to create memorable dishes for community celebrations. It remains a nostalgic symbol of shared holiday meals and festive gatherings. Sweet and sour meatballs brought Asian-inspired flavors to church potlucks, their tangy sauce making them disappear faster than church ladies could replenish slow cookers. Ground beef was mixed with breadcrumbs, egg, and seasonings, rolled into uniform spheres, then browned in skillets before being transferred to sauce made from grape jelly, chili sauce, and lemon juice that simmered until meatballs were glazed. The combination sounds bizarre, but the result was addictive. Sweet jelly balancing spicy chili sauce and tart lemon, while meatballs provided savory heartiness. In synagogues and Protestant churches across America, these meatballs became potluck staples, their ease of preparation and crowd-pleasing flavor making them reliable choices. Some church ladies kept them warm in chafing dishes, others used slow cookers. Sweet and sour meatballs represented culinary adventure. When it came to feeding a family on a tight budget, casseroles were the backbone of 1970s home cooking, and Hopeful Hot Dog Casserole was one of the era's most resourceful creations. Combining hot dogs, baked beans, and a cornbread topping, it turned simple, inexpensive ingredients into a dish that could feed a crowd with ease. It wasn't fancy, but it was undeniably comforting and a little fun. Hot dogs, introduced to American cuisine in the 19th century, became a kitchen staple by the mid-20th century thanks to their affordability and versatility. Pairing them with baked beans, another budget-friendly favorite, created a savory base with a hint of sweetness. The cornbread topping, inspired by Southern traditions, added texture and warmth, making this casserole feel a little more special than its components might suggest. It was quick to assemble, easy to bake, and hearty enough to fill hungry stomachs after a Sunday service. However, as palates shifted toward fresher, less processed foods, this casserole's reliance on packaged ingredients led to its decline. Hot dogs lost some of their appeal as health trends took hold, and the dish's humble simplicity began to feel dated. A heavenly hash brown bake was good enough to actually put you out and keep you in a food coma. So stick with me on this one. This hash brown bake typically used cubed hash browns as the base of the casserole, and it amplified the texture of the hash browns with a really creamy binder. On top of that, some cheese, like shredded cheddar, helped add a lot of extra flavor to the dish. As far as the binder was concerned, any kind of condensed cream soup would work. People could also make this way ahead of time, since they could use shredded or cubed frozen hash browns or just grate some potatoes. It was one of the first kinds of hash brown casseroles of its time, and there were a few different reasons why this made the headlines in churches around the nation. See, people love something affordable, and you don't need me to tell you that. But what they love even more than that is a good deal. That's what the hash brown bake sounded, felt, and tasted like. You get potatoes, hash browns, and cheese in one casserole for cheap, and it's easy to prepare in advance and make. Not only is that a good meal, but also a fantastic deal. It has everything you'd want out of a church dish, and the variants, like loaded hash brown bakes, which involved bacon, sausage, onions, and ham, were even better. In the days of church picnics, where hearty casseroles and fried chicken often took center stage, divine dill cucumber salad offered a light, refreshing contrast. This dish, made with thinly sliced cucumbers coated in a tangy blend of vinegar, sour cream, and fresh dill, was a staple in the mid-20th century. It reflected a shift toward incorporating fresh produce into meals, particularly during the warmer months when cucumbers were plentiful in backyard gardens. Practicality was one of its strongest virtues. The ingredients were inexpensive and easy to find, and the dish required no cooking, making it a breeze to prepare for a crowd. It also held up well in the heat, a critical feature for outdoor gatherings. Its versatility meant it could be served as a side dish, a palate cleanser, or even as part of a sandwich filling. Despite its appeal, this crisp and creamy salad eventually fell out of favor. As more elaborate salads and pre-packaged options gained popularity, simpler recipes like this one began to feel outdated. Additionally, the growing focus on global cuisine brought bolder flavors to the forefront, leaving dill cucumber salad in the shadows. Potato salad with dill pickles offered a tangy twist on the classic potato salad and was a beloved side dish at 1950s church potlucks. This recipe typically combined boiled potatoes with mayonnaise, chopped dill pickles, onions, and sometimes hard-boiled eggs, creating a creamy yet zesty flavor profile. The inclusion of pickles added a crisp acidity that brightened the dish and balanced the richness of the dressing. Potato salad was practical and inexpensive to make in large quantities, making it ideal for feeding many at social gatherings. It could be prepared ahead of time and served chilled, which was convenient for church potluck events where refrigeration space might be limited. The salad paired well with a variety of main courses, from barbecue meats to baked casseroles, making it a versatile choice. Its popularity was boosted by its familiar flavors combined with a small element of surprise thanks to the dill pickles. This potato salad remains an iconic part of mid-century American communal dining experiences. Watergate salad earned its political name in the early 70s, but church ladies had been making pistachio fluff for potluck since the 50s, its green color and marshmallow sweetness making it instant favorite. The recipe mixed pistachio pudding with crushed pineapple, miniature marshmallows, chopped pecans, and Cool Whip until everything turned pale green and cloud-like. No cooking required, just stirring and refrigerating until marshmallows softened and flavors melded. Church ladies served it in crystal bowls or molded into shapes, its festive color making every potluck table look celebratory. The texture was simultaneously creamy, chewy, and crunchy, hitting multiple pleasure points with each spoonful. In Catholic churches across the Midwest, this salad appeared at every Lenten fish fry, Easter brunch, and Christmas party. Children devoured it. Parents pretended it counted as fruit serving because of pineapple, and grandmothers knew it was pure indulgence but served it anyway. Few aromas could fill a church kitchen quite like freshly baked dinner rolls. Soft, buttery, and served warm, these rolls were a symbol of homemade care and hospitality. Devotion dinner rolls were the kind of recipe passed down through families, often scrawled on flour-dusted recipe cards and perfected over decades of Sunday suppers and holiday feasts. Homemade bread has deep roots in American culinary history, long before mass-produced loaves became the norm. In the 1970s, scratch-made dinner rolls still held their place on church tables, reflecting a time when baking bread was both an act of love and a nod to tradition. With simple, affordable ingredients like flour, yeast, and butter, these rolls were versatile enough to accompany anything from soups to pot roast, making them a must-have at potlucks. So why are they now more a memory than a staple? Blame the rise of convenience foods. The introduction of prepackaged rolls and frozen bread dough offered busy cooks a shortcut that didn't involve kneading or proofing. And while nothing quite compares to the taste of homemade, time-consuming recipes often took a backseat as modern life sped up. Heavenly hash salad is a really good salad, unlike the rest of some of these. This fruit-filled salad is a staple of Sunday school gatherings, holiday dinners, and everything else you would ever associate with church gatherings. If you ever thought you needed a boost to your skin, your gut health, or you just needed more fruit in your life in general, this is the dish for you. Chunks of pineapple, the juiciest and freshest mandarin oranges you could find, the ripest maraschino cherries, the kind America's known for, and additional toppings of grapes, marshmallows, bananas, and apples. You could even have a whipped cream base using Cool Whip or sour cream and add in dry fruits for an extra crunch factor. It was pretty much the dream of anyone who liked their meals sweet and happy instead of sour and bitter. You could make this in advance. It looked amazing, and it tasted even better. Yet this still wasn't really the best part of this dish, believe it or not. The actual strength of the heavenly hash salad was the fact that you didn't need any kind of kitchen appliances to really make it. Don't have an oven? This is for you. It meant that a big majority of the population, which didn't have access to things like ovens, could actually enjoy a dessert too, for once. Now, the heavenly hash bit comes from just the way it looks, nothing else. There's no famous folklore or backstory to this one. It just looks like something you'd find behind those pearly white gates we all dream of. Church picnics and fellowship halls were often the birthplace of creative beverages, and gracious grapefruit punch was no exception. This bright and bubbly concoction combined grapefruit soda, tangy pineapple juice, and creamy sherbet for a refreshing drink that balanced tartness and sweetness in every sip. Popular in the mid-20th century, when fizzy sodas and tropical flavors were all the rage, this punch became a go-to for church gatherings, bridal showers, and summer socials. The practicality of this punch was undeniable. It required no fancy equipment, just a big bowl, a ladle, and a crowd of thirsty guests. The recipe was endlessly adaptable. Swap out the grapefruit soda for lemon lime if you couldn't find it, or add sliced citrus for a decorative touch. It was as visually appealing as it was delicious, with the sherbet floating on top, slowly melting into a creamy foam. So, what caused this iconic punch to fade from view? The answer lies partly in changing beverage trends. As prepackaged sodas and sparkling waters gained popularity, the art of mixing homemade punches fell by the wayside. Additionally, the unique flavor profile of grapefruit didn't appeal to younger generations as much as sweeter alternatives. Raisin and nut salad was a sweet and textured dish that balanced dried fruits with crunchy nuts, typically served cold at 1950s potlucks. This salad often included raisins, chopped walnuts or pecans, and sometimes shredded celery or apples, all tossed in a light mayonnaise or cream-based dressing. The combination of chewy raisins and crunchy nuts created an appealing contrast that was both satisfying and refreshing. It was an affordable and easy-to-make side dish that added a touch of sweetness to the potluck table without overpowering other flavors. The salad's cool temperature and rich texture made it a welcome complement to hot casseroles and savory mains. Families often passed down their own recipes with small variations, such as the addition of pineapple or marshmallows. This dish captured the nostalgic comfort of mid-century American cooking, where mixing fruits and nuts into salads was a popular way to add variety and nutrition. It remains a fondly remembered part of church potluck history for many. Cranberry gelatin salad was a popular 1950s potluck dish that combined tart cranberries with the wobbly texture of gelatin, often enhanced by the addition of oranges or other citrus fruits. This tangy salad was made by dissolving flavored gelatin and folding in fresh or canned cranberries, along with chopped oranges or sometimes pineapple. The result was a brightly colored, refreshing dish served chilled that provided a sharp contrast to the richer, heavier casseroles and meats on the table. Cranberry gelatin salad was celebrated for its easy preparation and eye-catching appearance, making it a festive addition to any church gathering. The sweet and tart flavors balanced well, appealing to a wide range of tastes. This dish was especially popular during the holiday season, but found a place at many year-round potlucks. It exemplified the mid-century fascination with gelatin salads and the creative use of canned fruits, offering a nostalgic reminder of simpler times and communal celebrations. Few dishes from the 1970s could walk the line between savory and sweet quite like this one. Sweet potato soufflé did just that. It was a culinary bridge between vegetables and dessert. With its cloud-like texture, cinnamon-kissed sweetness, and the signature marshmallow topping, it offered both comfort and spectacle at every church potluck or holiday gathering. The dish has deep roots in Southern cooking, where sweet potatoes have been a staple for centuries. During the mid-20th century, this recipe gained widespread popularity as canned goods and convenience foods became kitchen staples. Marshmallows, introduced in the late 1800s and heavily marketed in the 20th century, were the final flourish, a whimsical, sugary topping that turned a simple casserole into a crowd-pleaser. Yet, as tastes evolved, the soufflé began to fade from weekly menus. The sugar-heavy marshmallow layer clashed with growing concerns about healthier eating. Sweet potatoes themselves survived the shift, reborn as fries, chips, and roasted sides. But the soufflé, with its unapologetic decadence, became relegated to holiday tables and church cookbook archives. Despite what the name will make you think, church basement tuna noodle casseroles actually don't have anything to do with sleazy basements. Don't worry. I know church gatherings are pretty much for everyone, but that doesn't mean they aren't sanitary. On the other hand, something that might gross you out is a tuna noodle casserole. Seriously, I'm all in favor of experimenting and trying new things, but who looks at tuna, noodles, and a casserole dish and thinks that goes together? They also specifically used wide egg noodles back in the day and canned tuna instead of fresh tuna. The base would typically be a cream of mushroom soup, and people would often add sour cream or milk to give it even more of a velvety texture. Then the cheese, yes, the cheese in your mushroom soup was added. On top of that, diced celery, peas, and God knows what else also went into this dish. I can tell you why this isn't made anymore, and it's because it was just a bad idea. Despite how nice it was to have a change of flavor and taste with some seafood, this definitely wasn't it. Mid-century America loved a dish that could pull double duty, easy to prepare and satisfying enough to feed a crowd. Picnic pea salad supreme fit the bill perfectly. This chilled salad, made with sweet green peas, crispy bacon, shredded cheddar, and a creamy dressing, was a real statement. In an era when canned and frozen vegetables were kitchen staples, this salad offered a way to transform humble peas into something extraordinary. It became a picnic regular, especially in the Midwest, where hearty and easy-to-make recipes reigned supreme. What made this dish so practical was its adaptability. The ingredients were pantry-friendly, the preparation was straightforward, and it held up well outdoors. No one likes a salad that wilts before the blessing. Its sweet and savory flavors appealed to kids and adults alike, and its vibrant colors made it visually appealing on any potluck table. Plus, bacon and cheddar, arguably the ultimate crowd-pleasing duo, did a lot of the heavy lifting. So, what happened? Well, somewhere along the line, supreme salads lost their shine. Health-conscious trends and the rise of pre-made options nudged recipes like this into obscurity. Cabbage rolls in tomato sauce were a beloved traditional dish that made frequent appearances at 1950s church potlucks, especially among families with Eastern European heritage. This recipe consisted of tender cabbage leaves wrapped around a filling of ground meat, rice, and seasoning, all simmered in a rich tomato sauce until tender and flavorful. The dish was hearty and filling, perfect for feeding large groups during social gatherings. Cabbage rolls could be prepared ahead of time and transported easily, making them ideal for community meals. The tomato sauce added acidity and depth, balancing the richness of the meat and rice filling. This dish reflected the cultural diversity within church communities and the shared love for comforting, home-cooked meals. Many recall cabbage rolls as a highlight of potluck tables, symbolizing tradition, care, and the joy of sharing good food with others. Waldorf salad brought crunch and sweetness together through apples, celery, grapes, and walnuts bound in creamy mayonnaise dressing. Church ladies diced crisp apples without peeling them, keeping red skin for color, then mixed them with thinly sliced celery, halved grapes, and roughly chopped walnuts before folding everything into mayonnaise sweetened with just enough sugar to balance tartness. The salad was served on lettuce leaves, its combination of textures making each bite interesting. In Episcopal churches across New England and the Mid-Atlantic, Waldorf salad appeared at every holiday gathering and ladies' luncheon, its presence signaling refinement. Some church ladies added raisins, others included miniature marshmallows, but purists kept it traditional with just the core ingredients. The salad represented aspirational elegance, taking simple ingredients and transforming them into something that felt sophisticated. In the 1970s, dips reigned supreme at church potlucks and family gatherings, and few were as delightfully quirky as dill pickle dip. A creamy blend of sour cream, cream cheese, and finely chopped dill pickles, this tangy appetizer offered bold flavor with minimal effort. Whether served with crackers, chips, or vegetable sticks, it was an unexpected crowd pleaser that stood out among more traditional offerings. This dish emerged during an era when convenience and creativity defined home cooking. Dill pickles had been a staple in American pantries since the early 20th century, and combining them with creamy bases like sour cream or cream cheese was an innovative way to transform basic ingredients into something new. It was practical too, easy to whip up, affordable, and well-suited for large gatherings. So, what happened to this retro favorite? As culinary trends evolved, so did dips. Flashier, more complex recipes featuring exotic ingredients like artichokes and sun-dried tomatoes became the new standard, leaving humble dill pickle dip behind. And for those with pickier palates, the sharp, briny flavor wasn't always a hit. Dill pickle dip evokes nostalgia for an era when recipes were shared on index cards, and the measure of a good potluck dish was how quickly it disappeared. Funeral potatoes were a quintessential church dish, and they were called that exactly because these were so popular to serve at gatherings during or after funerals. You got the name from the widespread use of these around the nation, so it wasn't a phenomenon that was tied to one specific region either. This was especially true the more and more you headed west. Some people like to think that it was tied back to deep-rooted Mormon traditions that had persisted in that region. But a lot of people think that this dish just transcended social, cultural, and historical boundaries and brought people together in times of grief over the comfort they found in food. It was a rich potato casserole filled with cream and lots of ingredients. They were made to feed all kinds of crowds and provide as much comfort and flavor as possible, which is why you actually don't see the use of any sort of meat here this time around. The entire prospect of this dish is to ease someone's mind, and that's why it has things like cheese, cream, and potatoes, all hallmarks of American comfort food, especially for children. In the world of potlucks and church picnics, the holy hoagie dip was the kind of dish that sparked curiosity and kept people coming back for seconds. Inspired by the classic Italian hoagie, this creamy dip combined diced deli meats like salami and ham, provolone cheese, crisp lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and zesty Italian dressing, all folded into a creamy mayonnaise base. Served with toasted baguette slices or crackers, it was essentially a hoagie deconstructed and ready to share. No messy sandwiches required. The dip's rise in popularity during the late 20th century mirrored America's love for Italian-inspired cuisine and the growing trend of turning traditional dishes into crowd-friendly dips. Its versatility made it a potluck superstar. Adjust the meats, toss in some hot peppers for spice, or lighten it up with low-fat ingredients. The options were endless. Plus, its no-cook preparation meant less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying the gathering. So why did it fade into obscurity? Part of the decline can be attributed to a cultural shift toward lighter, healthier fare. The cream-based dips of yesteryear gave way to hummus and veggie platters. Cabbage and noodle salad was a favorite at many 1950s church potlucks, offering a light yet satisfying option among the heavier dishes. This salad combined tender-cooked noodles with finely shredded cabbage, tossed together in a simple dressing usually made from vinegar, oil, and sugar to balance tanginess and sweetness. Sometimes carrots or onions were added to enhance texture and color. The salad's crisp cabbage contrasted nicely with the softness of the noodles, creating a refreshing dish that complemented meat-heavy entrees. It was economical to prepare, feeding large groups with minimal ingredients, which made it especially popular during times when budgets were tight. Often served cold, cabbage and noodle salad could be made ahead and easily transported to potluck events. Its simplicity and wholesome flavor made it a comforting reminder of home cooking, cherished by many families across various regions. This dish embodied the communal spirit of church gatherings, where sharing food was about more than just eating. It was about connection. Many remember this salad fondly as a staple that brought both familiarity and lightness to the potluck table. Chicken and rice bake solved the eternal potluck problem of feeding crowds without breaking budgets, combining economical chicken pieces with rice and cream of mushroom soup into hearty casserole. Church ladies arranged chicken thighs or drumsticks over uncooked rice, poured diluted soup across everything, then covered tightly and baked until rice absorbed liquid and chicken fell off bones. The dish emerged steaming, rice fluffy and infused with chicken fat, meat tender enough to shred with a fork. Onion soup mix added flavor depth without requiring fresh vegetables, while paprika sprinkle provided color. In Presbyterian churches across Pennsylvania and New Jersey, this recipe appeared monthly, its reliability perfect for women who worked full-time but still volunteered for potluck duty. The casserole held temperature well, staying warm through long church services. Children ate it willingly, adults appreciated its substance, and everyone recognized it as comfort food requiring minimal effort but maximum love. In the era of resourceful cooking, few desserts embodied practicality quite like a fruit cobbler made with canned fruit cocktail and a biscuit crust. Fellowship fruit cobbler was a mainstay at church potlucks, offering a sweet, bubbling dessert that could feed a crowd with minimal effort. The dish gained traction in the mid-20th century, when canned fruit cocktail became a pantry staple in American homes. A product of clever marketing and food preservation innovation, fruit cocktail offered a colorful mix of diced fruits that made desserts feel festive. Topping it with a simple biscuit crust not only stretched the dish but gave it that golden, flaky finish that felt homemade even when shortcuts were taken. As versatile as it was, the cobbler started losing its shine by the late 20th century. Fresh fruits became more accessible year-round, and modern palates leaned toward desserts with more nuanced flavors and textures. Canned fruit cocktail, once a novelty, began to feel dated. But for those who grew up with it, this cobbler remains a comforting reminder of shared meals, church fellowship halls, and a time when food was about bringing people together, not about impressing them with gourmet flair. Sunday school macaroni and cheese pie is literally the definition of comfort food. It's pretty much just a baked macaroni and cheese dish that's been amplified with eggs and has been baked until it's really firm. Then, people often slice it and add in different kinds of cheeses. Lots of people would use things like Colby, Monterey Jack, and Parmesan cheese for theirs. Binding agents were really important, so you needed loads of eggs and milk. Another uncommon fact about this time period in America was the way people took a lot longer to recover from the Depression and the war than history books would like to admit. People were still living without basic access to eggs and milk right after the dust settled, and in times like that, churches were instrumental in providing some catharsis for most of the population. The structured texture and easy-to-serve nature of the macaroni and cheese pie also made it a hit with children, which meant that lots of families, both suburban and rural, would come to visit whenever their local church was making this. In the 20th century, church picnics were more than gatherings. They were culinary showcases, where simple ingredients turned into unforgettable creations. Among these was a dish that perfectly embodied practicality and crowd-pleasing charm, the hot dog crowned with creamy coleslaw. Born in the South, where coleslaw was practically a religion, this combination united two beloved staples into a handheld masterpiece. It was cheap, easy to assemble, and had the rare gift of tasting just as good warm as it did after sitting out for a hymn or two. The versatility of this dish made it a picnic powerhouse. Whether paired with smoky barbecue sauces or left unadorned, the coleslaw added crunch, tang, and a cool contrast to the savory hot dog. It was the kind of recipe where you didn't need a culinary degree, just a willingness to roll up your sleeves and pile it high. Kids loved it. Adults appreciated its simplicity, and even the most novice cooks could pull it off. But as convenience foods grew in popularity, fresh coleslaw recipes fell by the wayside. Pre-packaged sides and fast food chains stole the spotlight, leaving the Salvation slaw dog behind. Corn pudding with creamed corn was a smooth and sweet casserole that often appeared as a comforting side dish during 1950s church potlucks. This pudding combined creamed corn with eggs, milk, sugar, and sometimes butter or flour, baked until set and golden on top. Its creamy texture and mild sweetness made it a perfect complement to savory mains, adding a gentle richness to the meal. Corn pudding was appreciated for its simplicity and ability to stretch a small amount of corn into a satisfying dish for many guests. It was a practical recipe that could be prepared ahead and baked at the potluck location or brought ready to serve. The dish reflected the era's fondness for casseroles that combined convenience with homey flavors. It was particularly popular in regions where corn was a dietary staple and represented the comfort of familiar, unpretentious cooking shared among church families. Ambrosia salad brought tropical paradise to church basements. Its combination of orange segments, pineapple chunks, coconut, and marshmallows creating something that felt exotic despite humble origins. Church ladies drained canned fruit carefully, mixed everything with sour cream or whipped cream, then folded in miniature marshmallows and shredded coconut until the mixture turned creamy white, studded with color. Some added maraschino cherries for brightness, others included chopped pecans for crunch. The salad had to be made hours ahead, allowing marshmallows to soften and flavors to meld. In Southern Baptist churches from Texas to Florida, ambrosia appeared at every covered dish supper, its sweetness making it dessert that could be served as salad without guilt. Children fought over bowls, adults took seconds pretending restraint, and everyone agreed it tasted like celebration in a bowl. Baked apple desserts have long been a staple of American cooking, and Altar Apple Betty was a quintessential example of turning humble ingredients into something extraordinary. Made with sliced apples, a fragrant cinnamon-spiced oat topping, and brown sugar for sweetness, this dish was a warm, rustic treat that often graced church potluck tables and family dinners alike. Its roots can be traced back to colonial America, where frugal cooks used seasonal fruits and pantry staples to create desserts that didn't require elaborate preparation. The beauty of Apple Betty was its simplicity. No pie crust to fuss over, just a quick assembly of apples and a crumbly topping that baked to golden perfection. It was versatile, too, ideal as a dessert, a sweet breakfast, or even a snack when served cold. So why isn't it as common today? As dessert trends shifted, Apple Betty faced stiff competition from flashier options like pies, cobblers, and crisps. The recipe's old-fashioned simplicity, once a selling point, became overshadowed by desserts that promised more indulgence or visual appeal. Altar Apple. Betty remains a nostalgic reminder of kitchens where everything was made from scratch and desserts were heartfelt contributions to the table. In the mid-20th century, before charcuterie boards became the height of culinary fashion, there was the humble yet beloved righteous relish tray. A staple at church picnics and potlucks, this platter featured an assortment of pickles, olives, and pickled vegetables, often accompanied by crackers or crusty bread. Simple yet striking, it was the perfect blend of salty, tangy, and crunchy, an ideal prelude to heartier fare. The historical roots of the relish tray can be traced back to a time when home canning was common, and pickled vegetables were a way to preserve the harvest. Offering an array of pickles at a gathering was not only practical, but also a point of pride for the home cooks who had prepared them. The versatility of the tray was another advantage. It could include anything from classic dill pickles and sweet gherkins to pickled carrots, onions, or even spicy peppers, making it easy to tailor to personal tastes or seasonal availability. So why has the relish tray largely vanished from modern tables? The rise of convenience foods played a big role. Store-bought appetizers and snack mixes replaced the need for handcrafted platters. Tomato aspic was a long-term mainstay of the 20th century for a few different reasons. It was the best thing you could make out of molded gelatin, at least the most palatable. A lot of people weren't really warming up to having gelatin in their salads because of how it was just too different, and how most of them thought that cold, savory gelatin salads didn't make any sort of sense at all. Despite that, this dish persisted and made a name for itself as exactly that. You would have a tomato soup-based salad served with a really creamy dressing, and the best part was the presentation. People would end up having a lot more fun than they originally expected to have with gelatin. All it took was having a meal and trying it out without someone in your ear telling you how bad it is. Plus, the reason churches really wanted this dish on their menus was because it could work in a number of different ways. You could make a side out of it, a salad, or an appetizer. It could even be the centerpiece of your church lunches. And of course, the fact that you could make it ahead of time was wonderful. A lot of churches would actually make this as an Easter special, often with things like cranberry sauces. Molded Jell-O with fruit and nuts was a visually striking and festive dish that often served as a centerpiece at 1950s church potlucks. These gelatin molds incorporated chunks of canned or fresh fruit, such as pineapple, cherries, or oranges, and sometimes nuts like walnuts or pecans, suspended throughout brightly colored Jell-O. The molds were typically made in decorative shapes using special ring or bunt pans, making them as attractive as they were tasty. Served chilled, these Jell-O dishes offered a sweet, slightly tangy contrast to more savory items on the table. They required no baking and could be prepared well in advance, lending convenience to hosts. Molded Jell-O was a symbol of mid-century culinary innovation, showcasing how simple ingredients could be transformed into elegant and festive offerings. The texture and flavor combinations made these desserts a nostalgic reminder of the era's social gatherings, where presentation was just as important as taste. Taco salad cups were a really fun, convenient, and classic new take on the otherwise timeless taco salad. You took all the best parts of that dish and served it in more or less the same way, except this time around, you threw it in taco shell cups. All you had to do then was layer some flavors and get your guacamole and cheese going. This was a party dish in every sense of the word. Bringing an entire horde of these was easy for just about anyone with a lot of trust in their finger strength or a car with some backseat space. It was one of the most convenient parts of Tex-Mex culture too, since taco salads began showing up in Tex-Mex restaurants right after the World War. How does that make it convenient? Well, put yourself in their shoes. Sure, the war ended and the recession became yesterday's news, but the ripples they sent through the economy meant that a lot of people were still desperately trying to find their footing. Affordable, group-friendly food like this meant that people could show up to potlucks with something worth bringing that was also affordable, or they could just make a big batch on their own. The cheese log, simple yet sophisticated, was a centerpiece of 1970s entertaining, and the chapel cheese log was a classic example of its enduring charm. A blend of cream cheese, shredded cheddar, and seasonings rolled in crushed nuts, this dish was as much about presentation as it was about flavor. Paired with crackers, it graced countless church potlucks and holiday spreads, offering a bite-sized burst of creamy, nutty indulgence. The origins of the cheese log can be traced back to mid-century culinary trends, when convenience and elegance often went hand in hand. Cheese logs became a staple in the 1960s and 70s, popularized by their ease of preparation and adaptability. Home cooks could mix in herbs, spices, or even dried fruit to suit their tastes, making it versatile for various occasions. Its cylindrical shape and nutty coating also made it easy to transport, a key factor for church gatherings. So why did this once celebrated appetizer fall out of favor? As the 1980s ushered in fancier hors d'oeuvres and international cuisines, the humble cheese log started to feel a bit dated. Prepackaged cheese spreads also gained popularity, offering a more convenient alternative. In the post-war era, when convenience foods were revolutionizing the American kitchen, Angel's ambrosia pie emerged as a sweet symbol of the times. This chilled, no-bake dessert combined fruit cocktail, shredded coconut, and marshmallows folded into a creamy base, all nestled in a graham cracker crust. It was inspired by ambrosia salad, a classic Southern dish with roots in 19th century holiday traditions. But here, it was given a modern twist, easy to prepare and perfect for the church potluck circuit. Practicality was one of the pie's greatest strengths. With canned fruit cocktail and pre-made crusts widely available, the ingredients were budget-friendly and accessible. The recipe required no cooking, making it an ideal choice for busy homemakers balancing everything from Sunday school prep to feeding a family. Its versatility was another draw. The filling could be adjusted with fresh fruits, whipped cream, or even a splash of fruit juice to suit personal preferences. So, why did this dessert lose its spot on the picnic table? As palates evolved and fresh ingredients became more accessible, dishes relying on canned and processed components fell out of favor. Watergate salad was a sweet and fluffy concoction that quickly gained popularity in the 1950s as a potluck staple. Named after the famous Watergate Hotel, this salad combined pistachio-flavored instant pudding mix, canned pineapple chunks, whipped topping, and miniature marshmallows for a uniquely textured and flavorful dessert. Its bright green color and creamy sweetness made it visually appealing and a favorite among families. Watergate salad was easy to prepare, requiring no baking or cooking, which made it perfect for busy church members contributing to community meals. The salad's balance of fruit and sweet creaminess offered a delightful finish to savory dishes on the table. It also showcased the growing influence of convenience foods and packaged ingredients that defined mid-century American cooking. Many families passed down their versions of the recipe, sometimes adding nuts or coconut for extra texture. The dish became a nostalgic symbol of 1950s social gatherings, evoking memories of shared meals and the simple joys of fellowship. Salmon croquettes stretched canned salmon into crispy patties that could serve as main course or appetizer, their golden exterior hiding tender interior. Church ladies drained canned salmon carefully, removing bones and skin, then mixed the fish with breadcrumbs, beaten eggs, minced onion, lemon juice, and seasonings before shaping mixture into uniform patties. The croquettes were rolled in additional breadcrumbs and pan-fried in butter until both sides turned golden brown. They emerged hot and savory, with slight crunch giving way to moist salmon interior. In Catholic churches during Lenten fish fries, salmon croquettes appeared alongside fried cod and coleslaw. Some church ladies added diced celery for crunch. Others included capers for brightness. Salmon croquettes represented thrift and skill, showing church ladies could make economical ingredients into something genuinely good. In the culinary traditions of many German-American communities, sauerkraut held a place of honor, and sacred sauerkraut surprise brought that tangy staple to church potlucks in a way that was both hearty and unexpected. Baked with apples and pork chops, this dish balanced savory, sweet, and sour flavors to create a comforting, satisfying meal that could feed a crowd with ease. The origins of this recipe are deeply rooted in German and Eastern European immigrant cooking. Sauerkraut, a fermented cabbage dish, was prized not only for its flavor, but also for its long shelf life and high vitamin C content, a crucial factor in preserving health during the winter months. Pairing it with pork was a natural choice. Pork chops were affordable and readily available, while apples added a touch of sweetness to offset the kraut's tanginess. This combination was practical, filling, and adaptable to any church dinner or family gathering. Despite its versatility, the dish began to lose favor as modern cooking trends leaned away from fermented and pickled flavors. Additionally, the strong aroma of sauerkraut could be polarizing, making it less appealing to younger generations. Hallelujah ham and pea salad wasn't like that at all, though. It had sweet peas and diced ham, and the bright flavors and really vivid colors here only brought everything full circle. It made the dish look, feel, and taste like what comfort food should be like. Plus, I think the saltiness of the ham really bounced off well with the flavor of the peas. People had gotten used to ingredients like mushrooms, root vegetables, and beans, but that meant they were leaving behind peas a little bit when honestly, there was just as much, if not more, potential with them for casseroles and one-pot meals too. Peas have a lot of range, and the proof is in front of you because this isn't a casserole or a one-pot meal. It's a salad, and it works just as well as the other two formats do. During the leaner years of the mid-20th century, frugality and ingenuity were staples in the kitchen. Enter the blessed bologna spread, a creamy, tangy concoction made from finely ground bologna, mayonnaise, and chopped pickles. A true testament to making the most of what you had, this spread transformed an inexpensive lunch meat into a flavorful filling for sandwiches or crackers. For church picnics and potlucks, it was a go-to dish, easy to prepare, affordable, and guaranteed to feed a crowd. The beauty of this spread lay in its adaptability. It could be served between slices of soft white bread, stuffed into hollowed-out celery stalks, or simply spooned onto crackers for a quick snack. Bologna itself, once a refrigerator mainstay, offered a rich, salty base that paired perfectly with the zing of pickles. It wasn't fancy, but it didn't need to be. This was food meant to nourish and bring people together, not impress. So, why has this humble spread disappeared? Changing tastes and the bologna stigma, yes, it exists, contributed to its decline. Once hailed as a budget-friendly staple, bologna lost favor to more sophisticated options. Barbecue meatballs were small, flavorful morsels coated in tangy barbecue sauce that made them a popular choice for 1950s church gatherings. These meatballs were typically made from ground beef or pork mixed with breadcrumbs, eggs, and seasonings, then baked or fried before being simmered or tossed in barbecue sauce. Served warm and often with toothpicks, they were easy to eat while socializing and required no utensils. Their rich, smoky flavor and sticky glaze appealed to a wide audience and added a bit of hearty indulgence to potluck tables. Barbecue meatballs were practical for feeding large groups because they could be made in batches and kept warm in slow cookers or chafing dishes. They showcased the mid-century love for barbecue flavors while adapting well to the communal and casual nature of church dinners. Their popularity endured because they combined familiar comfort food with convenient presentation, making them a cherished recipe from the era. Angel food cake with strawberries represented simplicity elevated to art form, its white cake and red berries creating patriotic presentation perfect for church gatherings. Church ladies either baked cakes from scratch, beating egg whites by hand until peaks formed, or bought them from bakeries, focusing their efforts on the strawberry topping. Fresh berries were sliced and macerated with sugar until they released juice that turned into natural syrup, then spooned generously over cake slices just before serving. The combination was perfect, airy cake soaking up sweet berry juice, creating bites that dissolved on the tongue. In congregational churches across New England, this dessert appeared at every spring and summer potluck, its freshness providing contrast to heavier casseroles. Women competed to present the most beautiful cakes using tube pans that created dramatic height. Some added whipped cream, others served it plain, but everyone understood that simplicity was the point, requiring minimal ingredients but maximum timing, since cake couldn't be assembled early. Steamed puddings might sound old-fashioned today, but in the 1970s, dishes like faithful fig pudding carried the weight of centuries-old traditions. Made with dried figs, molasses, and a blend of warming spices, this dessert was a nod to the rich culinary heritage of European settlers. It was dense, aromatic, and perfect for church gatherings, where a hearty dessert could double as a centerpiece. Historically, steamed puddings were practical creations. Long before ovens became common household appliances, steaming was a reliable way to prepare desserts, particularly during the winter months when ovens were occupied with other dishes. Dried figs and molasses were staples in American pantries, thanks to their long shelf life and affordability. Combined with spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, they created a dessert that was rich in flavor and relatively inexpensive to prepare. Despite its deep roots, fig pudding began to fade as tastes shifted toward lighter, quicker-to-make desserts. The lengthy steaming process required patience, a virtue many modern cooks didn't have time for. Angel's egg casserole was a baked dish that had a custard-like mix of eggs and dairy, and it had a lot of other things to go with it too. You had all kinds of bread, vegetables, and lots of meats, and the texture would switch up depending on how people were feeling that Sunday. Hey, sometimes the church would throw you a bone, use some heavy cream, lots of ground beef, some lamb, and high-quality cuts of meat. Other times, funds and resources were low. They'd ask for people to bring in ingredients and spare whatever alms they could. Things like that kept the wheels turning. Actually, a big reason why casseroles were so popular and so beloved through the midway point of the 20th century was because of these church gatherings and functions. They single-handedly popularized casseroles and the idea of one-pot meals for an entire nation, and I have to say, that's next to godliness if you ask me. The base of the casserole was unlike anything else too. You had a custard-like base here because the beaten milk was so smooth and thick, and until it got that way, those ladies would never stop beating it. In the 1960s and 1970s, as convenience foods and chilled dishes grew in popularity, cold pasta salads became a staple at church picnics. Savior's shrimp pasta salad was one of the more elegant options, combining tender shrimp, crunchy celery, and a creamy dill dressing. Tossed with perfectly cooked pasta, it offered a sophisticated twist on the typical potluck fare, adding a touch of coastal charm to even the most landlocked gatherings. This salad excelled in versatility. It could be adapted to fit the occasion, with small tweaks like adding fresh herbs, chopped vegetables, or even a splash of lemon for brightness. Its creamy dill dressing was a crowd pleaser that complemented the sweetness of the shrimp and the subtle flavor of the pasta. The dish also traveled well, making it perfect for outdoor events where refrigeration might be minimal. So, why did this elegant creation fade from our tables? The answer lies in changing dietary habits and the growing availability of pre-made seafood salads in grocery stores. Over time, many home cooks opted for simpler, less time-consuming alternatives. Additionally, as food safety awareness increased, dishes featuring seafood became less common at room temperature events. This dish consisted of canned tuna mixed with mayonnaise, chopped celery, onions, and seasoning to create a creamy spread. The mixture was then piled generously on small triangles of toasted bread, often cut from white sandwich loaves. The toast points offered a crisp base that contrasted with the smooth, flavorful tuna salad topping. Creamed tuna on toast was easy to prepare in large quantities, making it ideal for feeding groups at potlucks. The dish was both affordable and filling, relying on pantry staples that were readily available to most households. Its popularity stemmed from the combination of convenience and elegance, turning simple ingredients into an appealing finger food. It also reflected the era's love for seafood dishes adapted to social occasions. Many remember this appetizer as a classic element of mid-century entertaining that brought people together around the food table. Pineapple sheet cake brought tropical sweetness to every church celebration through moist cake topped with cream cheese frosting that included crushed pineapple. Church ladies mixed yellow cake batter with crushed pineapple and its juice, creating extra moist crumb that stayed soft for days. The cake baked in sheet pans, emerging golden and fragrant. While still warm, it was frosted with cream cheese mixture that included more pineapple, butter, and powdered sugar. The combination was perfect. Sweet cake balanced by tangy frosting, pineapple providing moisture and tropical flavor. In Southern Baptist churches from Texas to Georgia, pineapple sheet cake appeared at every birthday celebration, church picnic, and funeral reception. The cake traveled well, could be made ahead, and pleased every age group, proving that sometimes the most popular recipes required minimal effort but delivered maximum satisfaction. The rich, spicy aroma of a well-seasoned casserole was often the highlight of church potlucks, and Jubilee Jambalaya casserole was no exception. This baked version of the Louisiana classic brought together rice, sausage, shrimp, and a bold Creole spice blend. It was hearty, flavorful, and had just the right amount of kick to leave everyone asking for the recipe. Jambalaya, with its roots in Spanish, French, and African culinary traditions, became a staple in Southern cooking centuries ago. Its adaptability made it a natural fit for church gatherings in the 1970s. Stretching expensive ingredients like shrimp with affordable staples like rice was economical, and baking it in a casserole dish made it easy to transport and serve to a crowd. Sausage added depth, and the Creole seasoning brought a vibrancy that elevated the dish beyond your average casserole. So why don't we see it much anymore? As jambalaya purists reclaimed the stovetop tradition, the baked casserole version began to lose its charm. Add in the rise of quicker meal solutions, and the labor-intensive nature of the dish didn't fit modern schedules. Sunday picnic pickle loaf is something that's faded from picnics but is still a nostalgic stroll down memory lane if you're ever in a melancholic mood and want to reminisce on the flavors of days gone by. Which I'm assuming is the deal with some of you if you're visiting this video, but basically, the idea here was to make something that was portable, had a lot of universal pull, and could be made with ease and not a lot of work. The best part was that it was affordable on top of being like this, but what was really hard to strike was that perfect balance between sweet and savory. It's actually one of the nicest picnic meals you could find from the 1940s to the 1950s, and it was something that was seen in cookbooks too. While they're not exactly the same, people would bring this dish to church potlucks as well. You could do a lot with it if you had a creative knack for experimenting with your food, and the thin slices of pickle loaf sandwiched between mayonnaise and mustard were the best thing to have at a breezy picnic. In the golden era of church picnics and potluck dinners, warm breadsticks were often a highlight of the meal. and none were more beloved than Hallelujah honey butter breadsticks. These soft, golden sticks of bread were brushed with a generous layer of honey butter and finished with a dusting of cinnamon. Sweet, buttery, and lightly spiced, they were the perfect combination of dessert and side dish, a treat that appealed to kids and adults alike. The practicality of these breadsticks made them a picnic favorite. They could be made ahead of time, reheated quickly, and served in large batches, ensuring there was enough for the crowd. Their versatility also added to their charm. They could be paired with coffee for an after-meal treat, served alongside savory dishes, or enjoyed all on their own. And let's not forget their portability, a major plus for outdoor gatherings. So why have these heavenly breadsticks become a rarity? As baking shortcuts like store-bought rolls gained popularity, labor-intensive homemade breadsticks fell out of favor. Health-conscious trends didn't help either, as buttery, carb-heavy recipes were pushed aside for lighter alternatives. Sweet pickled cauliflower was a tangy and crunchy addition to 1950s potluck spreads, bringing variety and flavor to the table. This dish involved pickling fresh cauliflower florets in a sweetened vinegar brine often infused with spices like mustard seed, cinnamon, and cloves. The result was a vibrant, flavorful vegetable side that combined the natural crunch of cauliflower with a pleasantly sharp sweetness. Pickled vegetables were popular because they could be prepared ahead of time and preserved for longer periods, making them ideal for community events. Sweet pickled cauliflower provided a refreshing contrast to heavier casseroles and baked dishes commonly served at church socials. Its bright appearance added color to the food table, while the unique flavor satisfied guests looking for something different. This dish showcased the resourcefulness and creativity of home cooks in the 1950s, who used pickling as a way to stretch seasonal produce and add zest to their meals. Banana pudding brought Southern tradition to church potlucks through layers of vanilla wafers, sliced bananas, and pudding that combined into something greater than individual parts. Church ladies made custard from scratch using egg yolks, sugar, milk, and vanilla, or used instant pudding when time was short, then assembled the dessert in clear glass bowls that showed off distinct layers. Vanilla wafers lined the bottom and sides, sliced bananas covered them, then warm pudding was poured over everything, with the process repeated until the dish was full. The top was crowned with meringue that was torched or baked until golden. The pudding had to sit for hours, allowing wafers to soften and absorb custard. In Baptist churches across Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, banana pudding was royalty, appearing at every potluck, family reunion, and church supper. Few desserts capture the retro charm of the mid-20th century like the pineapple upside-down cake. Its signature design, caramelized pineapple slices and bright red maraschino cherries embedded in a golden cake, made it as visually striking as it was delicious. Praise pineapple. Upside-down cake was more than just a dessert. It was a conversation piece at church potlucks and community dinners. The dish rose to popularity in the 1920s and 1930s thanks to the invention of canned pineapple by the Hawaiian Pineapple Company. Their marketing campaigns promoted recipes featuring pineapple, and the upside-down cake, with its sweet, sticky topping, became an instant hit. By the 1950s and 60s, it had become a potluck classic, celebrated for its simplicity. Just one pan, and its ability to turn everyday ingredients into a dessert that felt festive. As tastes evolved in the late 20th century, the cake began to lose its luster. The heavy use of canned ingredients and its sugary glaze didn't align with the growing emphasis on fresh, lighter desserts. Additionally, its iconic appearance became a symbol of an earlier era, less appealing to younger bakers seeking more modern flavors and aesthetics. Fresh, vibrant, and undeniably wholesome, fellowship fruit kebabs were a beacon of color on church picnic tables. In an era when gelatin molds and mayonnaise-based salads reigned supreme, these skewers offered a refreshing alternative. Simple yet elegant, they featured a variety of seasonal fruits: pineapple, melon, grapes, and berries, artfully arranged on sticks and drizzled with a honey-lime glaze. The practicality of fruit kebabs was one of their biggest selling points. Easy to assemble, they required no utensils, making them a perfect grab-and-go option for outdoor gatherings. Plus, their versatility made them universally appealing. Whether you preferred tropical fruit, classic apple chunks, or a mix of whatever was on sale, the recipe adapted to suit any budget or taste. Add in the bright, tangy kick of honey and lime, and you had a snack that balanced natural sweetness with a touch of zest. So, what caused this recipe to slip into obscurity? Partly, the rise of pre-cut fruit platters took away the need for the extra effort. Additionally, the modern obsession with charcuterie boards and grazing tables overshadowed the humble kebab. In the 1980s and 1990s, lighter, vegetable-forward dishes began making their way onto picnic tables as health-conscious trends gained momentum. Ewing Steele's orange rolls are a wholesome little pit stop in Southern and Midwestern cooking. They're fluffy, sweet, and just about the opposite of everything you've come to expect so far on this list. The dish itself refers to a pretty specific variant that got popular throughout the South. Ewing Steele himself is known for making these. I mean, it's in the name. But the rolls themselves represented a lot. They had typical American baking traditions such as puff pastries and buttery rolls, but they mixed that in with oranges, sweet tastes, and really comforting textures. That was common in Southern desserts, so it was a blend of both points of American cooking. Now, while people believe that Ewing Steele made it, they aren't sure, because there's no documented recipe or cookbook that shows us a process of him developing the dish. All we know is that it first popped up in the South, and then it popped up at everyone's potlucks. Those bright citrus flavors were the perfect thing to bring to a potluck. Cowboy beans transformed simple pinto beans into hearty dish packed with ground beef, bacon, and molasses sweetness that made them substantial enough for main course. Church ladies combined canned pork and beans with browned ground beef, crispy bacon pieces, chopped onions, ketchup, brown sugar, and mustard, then baked everything together until flavors melded and top developed slight crust. The beans emerged thick and rich, more stew than side dish, providing protein and comfort in every spoonful. In non-denominational churches across Texas and Oklahoma, cowboy beans appeared at every potluck, church barbecue, and youth group gathering. Some church ladies added jalapenos for heat, others included bell peppers for color. The dish represented frontier resourcefulness, combining pantry staples with fresh ingredients to create something filling, affordable, and genuinely delicious. Few dishes captured the smoky, sweet essence of a church picnic like heavenly honey-glazed chicken wings. Sticky, tender, and bursting with flavor, these wings were a star attraction on many potluck tables, often disappearing before the blessing was finished. Marinated in a blend of honey, soy sauce, garlic, and spices, then grilled to caramelized perfection, these wings struck the perfect balance between sweet and savory, an irresistible combination. Chicken wings, once considered a less desirable cut, gained popularity in the mid-20th century as backyard grilling became a cultural staple. Their versatility made them a favorite for gatherings, easy to handle, universally loved, and adaptable to different flavors. For church picnics, they were a practical choice. Grilling could be done on site, and the wings didn't require utensils, making them ideal for outdoor events. But as time went on, the rise of fast food and ready-made options pushed homemade wing recipes aside. Buffalo-style wings dominated the scene, leaving behind the honey-glazed classics that required a little more time and effort. Additionally, concerns over sticky fingers and the mess factor may have played a role in their decline. Egg salad stuffed tomatoes were an elegant yet simple dish commonly brought to 1950s potlucks by those wanting to offer something a little special. This recipe involved hollowing out ripe tomatoes and filling them with classic egg salad made from chopped hard-boiled eggs, mayonnaise, mustard, and seasoning. The juicy tomato shells served as natural cups that held the creamy, flavorful filling, making for a visually appealing and portable appetizer. This dish was refreshing, light, and balanced the richness of egg salad with the acidity of fresh tomatoes. It was perfect for warm weather gatherings and easy to transport. Egg salad stuffed tomatoes combined homegrown produce with simple preparation to create a dish that was both tasty and attractive on the potluck table. Many remember these as a thoughtful addition that brought color and variety to church socials, highlighting mid-century culinary charm. Strawberry pretzel salad defied categorization, its layers of crushed pretzels, cream cheese mixture, and strawberry jello creating something simultaneously salty, sweet, creamy, and crunchy. Church ladies pressed crushed pretzels mixed with melted butter and sugar into pan bottoms. The middle layer mixed cream cheese, sugar, and whipped topping into fluffy white cloud that was spread over cooled crust. The top layer dissolved strawberry jello in water, added frozen strawberries, then poured over cream cheese layer and refrigerated. When sliced, each serving revealed 3 distinct layers that worked together perfectly. In Lutheran churches across Iowa and Minnesota, strawberry pretzel salad appeared at every summer potluck and holiday gathering, sparking debates about whether it was salad or dessert, while everyone agreed it was delicious. The dish represented 50s creativity. In the heyday of retro desserts, charity cherry salad was a shining star at potlucks and family gatherings. This chilled dish combined bright maraschino cherries, velvety cream cheese, and fluffy whipped topping, creating a dessert that was as vibrant as it was indulgent. Served in elegant glass bowls or set in decorative molds, it added a touch of flair to any church supper table. The popularity of dishes like this can be traced back to the mid-20th century, when refrigeration revolutionized home cooking. Desserts that could be prepared ahead of time and served cold became the ultimate convenience for busy homemakers. Maraschino cherries, first commercialized in the early 1900s, were a pantry favorite thanks to their long shelf life and striking red color. Blending them with cream cheese and whipped topping was a clever way to create a dessert that felt rich but remained affordable. Despite its charm, charity cherry salad fell out of fashion as modern palates shifted away from overly sweet processed ingredients. The rise of fresh fruit salads and lighter desserts in the late 20th century further sealed its fate. In the heyday of church potlucks and picnics, desserts often carried the weight of a gathering's final impression, and glory-glazed fruit bars rarely disappointed. These sweet bars featured a buttery shortbread crust, a glossy layer of apricot jam, and a golden toasted coconut topping. Originating in the mid-20th century, when simple ingredients were elevated through ingenuity, these bars quickly became a favorite for their perfect balance of texture and flavor. The practicality of this dessert was undeniable. It was easy to prepare, made from pantry staples, and could be cut into neat squares for serving, ideal for feeding a crowd. The recipe was also versatile. Not a fan of apricot? Swap in strawberry, peach, or any other jam you had on hand. The coconut topping, lightly sweetened and crisped in the oven, added a unique flair that made these bars stand out in a sea of cookies and cakes. So why don't we see these delightful treats much anymore? Changing dessert trends and the rise of prepackaged sweets overshadowed the charm of homemade fruit bars. Additionally, coconut, once a common pantry item, has fallen out of favor with some due to dietary preferences or taste. Cranberry gelatin salad was a popular 1950s potluck dish that combined tart cranberries with the wobbly texture of gelatin, often enhanced by the addition of oranges or other citrus fruits. This tangy salad was made by dissolving flavored gelatin and folding in fresh or canned cranberries, along with chopped oranges or sometimes pineapple. The result was a brightly colored, refreshing dish served chilled that provided a sharp contrast to the richer, heavier casseroles and meats on the table. Cranberry gelatin salad was celebrated for its easy preparation and eye-catching appearance, making it a festive addition to any church gathering. The sweet and tart flavors balanced well, appealing to a wide range of tastes. This dish was especially popular during the holiday season, but found a place at many year-round potlucks. It exemplified the mid-century fascination with gelatin salads and the creative use of canned fruits, offering a nostalgic reminder of simpler times and communal celebrations. 7-layer salad transformed vegetables into architectural triumph, displayed in glass trifle bowls showing every colorful stratum. Church ladies layered iceberg lettuce, frozen peas, celery, hard-boiled eggs, bacon bits, cheese, and onions, then sealed everything beneath thick mayonnaise spread like frosting. The salad was made the night before, allowing flavors to meld and vegetables to soften under their creamy blanket. When sliced, each serving revealed distinct color bands that made children point with wonder. The combination was simultaneously sweet from peas, salty from bacon, tangy from mayonnaise, and crisp from lettuce. In Protestant church basements, these salads competed for beauty and taste, with women adjusting layers based on seasonal availability. Some added cherry tomatoes, others included water chestnuts for crunch. 7-layer salad proved presentation mattered, turning everyday ingredients into celebration-worthy food and showing church ladies understood dishes should delight eyes before reaching mouths. During an era when convenience reigned supreme, few desserts captured the hearts of church potlucks quite like a no-bake peanut butter pie. With its creamy, sweet peanut butter filling nestled inside a graham cracker crust, pious peanut butter pie became a symbol of simplicity and indulgence. It was rich, satisfying, and best of all, didn't require turning on the oven, a blessing for busy cooks and warm kitchens. The origins of this dessert lie in the mid-century love affair with peanut butter, which soared in popularity thanks to its affordability and versatility. Pairing it with sweetened condensed milk and whipped topping, staples of the time, turned humble ingredients into a decadent treat. The graham cracker crust, first popularized in the 1930s, added a buttery crunch that balanced the pie's smooth filling. It was practical, easy to assemble, and required little more than a refrigerator to set. Yet, as dessert trends evolved, this pie began to fade from favor. The rise of more elaborate, multi-layered confections and a push toward healthier eating made its rich, calorie-dense filling seem out of step with modern tastes. Missionary chicken pot pie is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a community dish that really just has the missionary label added on for fluff, but at its core, it really is just your average chicken pot pie. You get the usual shtick and suspects here too. Shredded, diced chicken that's either prepared fresh or gets left over from Sunday roasts, and then you also have vegetables like carrots, celery, and potatoes. You get onions, green beans, and then you get things like a nice little chicken broth in a pie crust and a biscuit topping to really tie it all together. The idea behind this one-dish meal was to make something that could feed entire groups and specifically be used just for that. You might think that could be said about almost everything on this list, but the truth is, a lot of these recipes had to be fine-tuned and adapted to the amount of people there were. This, on the other hand, was a dish that was designed specifically for situations like that. It was a really common idea to make this in the winter when people needed warmth and comfort more than anything, especially the rural communities in America at the time. Chicken pot pies weren't just dominating church gatherings and tables. They were also the standard dinner you would come to expect at home, too. Maybe that's why this dish really fell out of touch with the tastes of the overall crowd. Can't have the same thing at God's home and yours after all. In an era when practicality reigned supreme, shepherd's picnic pie became a go-to dish for outdoor gatherings. Inspired by traditional meat pies with roots in British cuisine, this portable hand pie featured a savory filling of seasoned ground beef, onions, and potatoes, all tucked into a golden, flaky crust. Perfectly sized for individual portions, these pies were as functional as they were flavorful, designed to be eaten without the need for plates or utensils. The appeal of these pies went beyond convenience. They were a testament to the resourcefulness of home cooks who found ways to stretch simple ingredients into a satisfying meal. The filling could be easily customized. Add peas or carrots for extra vegetables, or swap ground beef for whatever meat was on hand. The crust, often made with pantry staples like flour and lard, added a rich, buttery element that tied everything together. So what caused these hearty hand pies to disappear from picnic tables? The rise of fast food and pre-packaged snacks overshadowed time-intensive homemade recipes. As society moved toward grab-and-go convenience, the labor of rolling dough and assembling pies became less appealing. Cornbread dressing was a savory and flavorful side dish cherished at many 1950s church potlucks. Made by combining crumbled cornbread with sautéed onions, celery, herbs, and often broth or eggs, This dressing was baked to golden perfection. It was commonly served alongside roasted meats and poultry, providing a comforting, hearty accompaniment. The recipe made use of simple ingredients that were affordable and easy to prepare in large quantities, which was important for feeding crowds at community gatherings. Cornbread dressing reflected the Southern influence in many American kitchens, where cornbread was a staple. The dish's moist texture and rich herbaceous flavor made it a favorite among all ages. It also embodied the tradition of sharing home-cooked dishes that reminded families of holidays and Sunday dinners. This dressing was often passed down through generations, representing not just food but family history and church fellowship. Many still remember its distinct aroma and the way it brought warmth and fullness to the potluck table. Cherry Delight brought clouds of sweetness to dessert tables, its layers of cream cheese, whipped topping, and cherry pie filling creating something light and indulgent. Church ladies pressed graham cracker crusts into rectangular pans, spread cream cheese mixed with powdered sugar, added Cool Whip billows, then crowned everything with glossy red cherry filling. The dessert required no baking, perfect for hot summer church picnics when ovens stayed off and refrigerators worked overtime. Each layer provided different texture: crunchy crust giving way to tangy cream cheese, fluffy topping, and fruit bursting with sweetness. In Baptist churches across the South, Cherry Delight appeared at every potluck, wedding shower, and funeral reception, its bright red top signaling celebration. Women experimented with variations, substituting blueberry or strawberry filling, adding crushed pineapple, or folding in miniature marshmallows. The dessert stretched expensive ingredients into servings for $50, costing mere dollars but delivering joy to everyone taking a square. By the mid-20th century, desserts had begun embracing an unlikely star: whipped toppings. The faithful fluff salad was no exception. A mixture of pineapple chunks, instant pudding mix, mini marshmallows, and whipped topping, this dessert was as much a texture experiment as it was a sugary indulgence. Emerging during the 1950s and 60s, fluff salads rode the wave of post-war prosperity. Processed foods like instant pudding and canned fruit were symbols of modernity and time-saving innovation, making them ideal for busy families and church potlucks. Adding marshmallows, initially a campfire treats, brought a playful twist that appealed to children and adults alike. For many, it was a dish that straddled the line between fun and functional. But as the health-conscious trends of the 1980s took hold, this sugar-loaded dessert began to lose its charm. Critics pointed to its processed ingredients and lack of nutritional value, relegating it to fond memories of a more carefree era. Despite its decline, the faithful fluff salad remains a snapshot of its time, a reminder of when culinary creativity meant combining unlikely ingredients to bring a smile to the faces of churchgoers and potluck attendees alike. Grape salads with brown sugar pecan toppings actually got their claim to fame during the 1950s and the 1960s. It was right here when sweet and creamy salads started becoming popular. On one hand, you had people experimenting with every kind of jelly under the sun. On the other hand, you had people trying out creamy ambrosia salads and soups. Basically, people were warming up to the kind of textures and flavors you would find in this salad. That brown sugar pecan topping really sold the deal, though. Whether you found yourself in the Midwest or the South, it was that topping with its buttery flavor and texture that pretty much elevated this dish into the perfect salad to have. If you ever wanted to relax and not eat something too heavy but still get a few bites in, this was pretty much the perfect meal to make for yourself. The creamy dressing basically just used brown sugar, sour cream, and cream cheese. The chopped pecans and the caramelized brown sugar added everything the dish needed. A crunchy and sweet glaze that brought out the best in the grapes. In the days of outdoor fellowship and potluck feasts, sacred summer sausage sliders were a savory favorite that combined simplicity and bold flavor. These miniature sandwiches, made with slices of summer sausage, sharp cheddar cheese, and a dollop of spicy mustard, packed a lot of taste into a small bite. Served on soft dinner rolls or crusty baguette slices, they were the perfect handheld snack for picnics and church gatherings. The sliders' practicality was one of their greatest strengths. Summer sausage, with its long shelf life, didn't require refrigeration. making it an ideal choice for outdoor events. Add to that the fact that they could be pre-assembled or set up as a do-it-yourself sandwich bar, and you had a dish that was both convenient and adaptable. Guests could customize their sliders with pickles, onions, or even a smear of mayo, making them a hit with all ages. But as tastes evolved, these classic sliders began to fade. The decline of deli-style summer sausage combined with the rise of more elaborate appetizers pushed them off the picnic table. Pre-packaged snack trays and sliders featuring trendy ingredients also contributed to their decline. Fresh, vibrant, and undeniably wholesome, Fellowship fruit kebabs were a beacon of color on church picnic tables. In an era when gelatin molds and mayonnaise-based salads reigned supreme, these skewers offered a refreshing alternative. Simple yet elegant, they featured a variety of seasonal fruits: pineapple, melon, grapes, and berries, artfully arranged on sticks and drizzled with a honey-lime glaze. The practicality of fruit kebabs was one of their biggest selling points. Easy to assemble, they required no utensils, making them a perfect grab-and-go option for outdoor gatherings. Plus, their versatility made them universally appealing. Whether you preferred tropical fruit, classic apple chunks, or a mix of whatever was on sale, the recipe adapted to suit any budget or taste. Add in the bright, tangy kick of honey and lime, and you had a snack that balanced natural sweetness with a touch of zest. So, what caused this recipe to slip into obscurity? Partly, the rise of pre-cut fruit platters took away the need for the extra effort. Additionally, the modern obsession with charcuterie boards and grazing tables overshadowed the humble kebab. Heaven-sent cornbread salad was often something people saw as the quintessential dish that would define the South. This was for a couple of reasons. Up in the South, corn had really made a lovely golden name for itself. People started seeing it as something that was heaven-sent, and I don't mean to make any puns. Corn was really the bestest friend for people who had nothing else to eat and nowhere else to go, and it kept a lot of food shortages from being worse than they needed to be. In homecomings and church gatherings, there were really vibrant and colorful salads that added a lot of flair and presentation to the vibe of the dinner. Let's talk about what you can typically expect in a cornbread salad, though. To start off, you get vegetables like chopped tomatoes, lots of green peppers, and red onions, which were actually a lot more popular in the South than any other kind of onion. Pinto beans and black beans were obviously going to make an appearance since this is a generational Southern dish we're talking about. Let's talk about the dressing, which was actually this really creamy and smooth mix of mayonnaise and sour cream. Put all that together, and you have yourself a pretty fulfilling salad. Which church potluck dish do you wish would come back to the fellowship table? Drop it in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more forgotten flavors from African American kitchens.